It looks like a, I have, what's that condition where you look at tiny holes and it scares you? That's what I have.
Hey guys, we're back with a new episode. I'm John Sosis. I should not be on camera. I do not have a face for camera, but I'm here. I love building Lego with friends, talking to my friends, some of the most talented people in the world. And today I have one of my favorite people. He hosts Just Saying with Justin Martindale on the Comedy Store Podcast Network. He's a comic, podcaster, TV personality. You do everything, dude.
I do.
Justin Martindale.
Yes, hello. I just got off stage and had to celebrate with a glass of
That's your second one.
Sauvignon Blanc.
Fine.
Well, who's keeping count?
Not me. I just want to make sure you're enjoying yourself.
It's 4. Yeah.
It's 4.
I've had a bottle.
What a Wednesday.
I mean, it's summer solstice. I mean, there's no goats for me to sacrifice because apparently that's what we do during the summer solstice. So
who knew?
Mm-hmm.
Who knew? So Justin does everything except Lego. This is going to be fun.
Honestly, I have never done Legos.
We're going to change that. So,
oh, God.
My set today, I started this already. We're going to finish it this season. We're going to be doing the Rolling Stones logo piece that will hang on the wall. I'm going to see how far I can get.
How long has that taken?
It took me about an hour.
That took an hour?
To do this piece, but
what do I have? Oh,
so
God.
Pride
the cast
Month,
of Queer Eye?
For Pride Month, Justin's doing the Everyone is Awesome set. And
Jesus.
I specifically picked this out for you because one of my favorite things that you do on the podcast is you don't just do pop culture news stories. You talk about all of the issues with like the LGBTQ and everybody having. When this set came out, keep in mind
literally,
this is Lego.
No pun intended.
Yeah, when Lego came out with this set, the amount of chaos it caused, the amount of hate that they got for this set, and the word that I've grown to hate the most, the word we were talking about this on this week's episode, grooming.
Grooming, yes.
Everything is grooming. Now,
everyone's grooming everyone.
The set just says everyone is awesome.
And they're like, leave our children alone.
Now it's getting into Lego. This is too much. So I thought this set would be fun.
This is chaos.
Yeah.
Who is this? Ross Matthews? What is this? He's like, hey y'all, I made Legos. Okay.
So yeah, you could start building the people or just go right into the display that they're on. But
what is that? Wait.
You have to look for, so those are the different colored people. Yeah.
Oh, they have hair.
Yeah, you got to find them. So yeah, just start putting the people together. That alone should take the entirety of the whole show. I like what he's doing there. He's actually going for the hair. He's separating it by body part. I love it.
Hair.
I
got to start with hair. I mean,
it makes sense.
Know me?
It makes sense. Now I'm going to start with mine. So, okay. So when did you move? You're from San Antonio. When did you move here?
I moved here. Let's see. The first time I moved here, I was.
Whoa! The first time.
Yes, the first time I moved here was like 2002, I believe.
Okay.
And then I moved away because it was just too much for me. I got like in the wrong crowd. I didn't know what I was
doing. The wrong crowd? You were on the wrong side of the tracks?
Well, yeah. I mean, I got really thrown into just like the nightlife of it all. And
really?
Oh, yeah. It was like Monday we're going here, then Tuesday we're going here, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it was just like never ending. Jesus. And it was just like, well, I got to be out to be seen, but like by who? And I just got into like a lot of drinking and I got into a lot of drugs. Not like,
Not the good stuff.
Well, the good stuff at the time, but like it was definitely not something that I was ever wanting to do. You know what I mean? So I moved away. And then I came back in 2005. It was kind of like a little rehab for
Where'd you move to? You went back to San Antonio?
Yeah, I went back to Texas and worked there. I did some like shows, some acting, and I was a Shakespeare in the Park kind of a guy.
Okay.
And yeah, I did 2 seasons of that in Lake Tahoe, which was awesome. And I met my friend Kate at the time, and she was like, we are moving to LA at the end of the season. And I was like, I've already done that. And she's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Do I have all of the Roy G. Biv? Wait. Roy G. Biv is the slang for
There are 11 people, so you should have 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
I have 9.
missing
Okay,
2.
10. I have orange.
He's built. Let's just for the record.
I haven't even. Oh, and black. I have black.
Okay. He's built nothing so far.
I want to get the hair right, you know? I'm probably just going to get through the people. Who gives a shit about these blocks? I want to create legends. So, yeah. And then I moved back here in 2005. We got a really central location in Redondo Beach.
Really near nothing.
God. And then I had to get the hell out of there because it was just too much. And I moved down to West Hollywood and kind of started all over. And worked in restaurants. And I didn't start doing stand-up until like 2008.
So this whole time, you've not done stand-up yet?
No.
Okay. It's been mostly just acting.
At all. It was always in the back of my mind, like,
did you come here for, like, was your goal acting? Like, was that the end goal? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was very like, oh God, why am I having problems with the black one? I feel like I'm going to cancel myself. It was always like, oh yeah, I'm going to go out there and be an actor, whatever. And, but at the same time, I had to like work.
Yeah.
And pay bills and shit. Oh, I got it. Yes. So I got into a relationship in 2006 and we moved in together and moved out into Hollywood. And I just remember like the recession hit, which was awful. And
that was 2008?
2008, yeah.
Okay.
And I just remember like going to work and there'd be like locks on the doors and just like, we can't pay you. Like you have to go take a cashier's check and do all that shit. And it was not fun.
That was going on in New York where, especially also at the comedy club. So at that point I was still doing stand-up and it was at like comics where you got your check, you had to beat all the other comics to the bank the next morning because there was only a certain amount of money in the bank.
Yeah.
You were not guaranteed that check was going to clear.
It was very much that because it was like, well, we don't know if we can pay you. And it was just like, well, shit. So I got sick of it because like my mom was like, just come home. It's not happening. Like, you know, you tried and we believe in you. And I'm like,
Doesn't really sound like that.
You know, I mean, and they were very, very supportive of me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like, let's be real. Like, you know, you're having a hard time and we don't want to see you struggle and, you know, be poor. Like I was on a strict diet of like eggs and toast. I'm not even joking.
Which isn't even something you could eat when you're poor now. Eggs are like $9.
Oh, I know. I know. Back in my day when you were poor, eggs were only $1. And I just remember watching this show on Logo. I'm saying a lot. I'm sorry. I'll say instead. God damn it. I'm having to go through like all my memories. So I was watching the show on Logo and it was, I can't even remember what the name of it was, but it was a stand-up LGBT stand-up show.
Okay.
And I just remember watching that and I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like, I've never seen a group of people like me doing this before. Because I looked up to Robin and Jim Carrey and all those guys. And I had never really seen like an LGBT.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm trying to think of, like I knew Judy Gold from New York.
Yeah. I don't even know. Maybe she might have actually been on it. I can't remember. You know, I love Judy. And I mean, it was very, it was very amateur or like up and coming comics. And I just remember watching it and being like, well, shit, I could do that. And I remember like immediately that day, I found a guy, his name is Bruce Daniels, and he runs a room still to this day at Akbar in Silver Lake. I actually saw him at the Mariah Carey concert, the irony. And I called him up And I said, hey, I'm interested in starting stand-up. And he goes, I absolutely think you should. And he says, okay, you've got 6 minutes. And here's the date. I want to say it was in October of 2008. And I went up there and I did 6 minutes. And I just remember being terrified. But afterwards, it was the first time. Look at this bitch. Yes. It was the first time that I actually was like, this makes sense to me. It feels good. And I wasn't bad. And after that, I went and started doing monthly shows where, Tammy Jo would do some shows around town and they were like once a month. And then, so that was from October to June of the following year. And then June 26th, which we're coming up on the anniversary.
Oh, wow.
2009, Michael Jackson passed away the day before. And I just remember that was one, I always remember that night. It's one of those Comedy Store nights that will always be emblazoned in my mind where everyone was here. It's one of those nights where everyone's in town. Michael Jackson's music is blasting through the streets, through people's cars. Everyone's just like remembering him and all this kind of stuff. And I had a show here because I remember Kathy Lewis, who ran a Friday night show here at the time, was like, you want to do my show? And I was like, yeah, sure. Oh my God, the Comedy Store, the main room? Yeah, sure. And I did the main room and there was like there was like maybe like, I want to say like 14 to 16 people in the green room.
So was this part of, in the green room?
It was a bringer
audience.
show
Okay.
in the main room. And so I was like 15 on the lineup and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was like, I've brought so many people here to come see me. And all of a sudden I went from 15th to 3rd. Tammy Jo was like, Justin's going 3rd, end of story. And so I had 6 minutes and I got up on stage, killed it, and sat back down with my friends in the audience. Whoa. And that's when Tammy Jo tapped me on the show and she was like, Mitzi Shore just passed you as a paid regular. And I was like, okay, thanks. I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know who she was. I just skipped over all of the steps.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, she just came down from the mountain and was like, let me check it out on a Friday night. I believe it was a Friday night. And it spread like wildfire and everyone was like, who the fuck got passed? Somebody got passed. Who is it? And they were like, we don't know him. We don't know who this is. And I mean, I just got bombarded with people just being like, who are you? What's your deal? Why are you here? And I was like, I don't know how to answer any of these questions.
I mean, in that position, I imagine your first thought is, oh, great. I never have to do a bringer show again.
I didn't even know what that was.
A bringer show?
That
was my nightmare.
I was doing bringer shows and didn't know what a bringer show was.
Bring 80 people, you get a free tape. In New York, it was like, bring 80 people, you get a free tape, but they're going to put you on last, so all of your guests stay the whole show.
Yes. No, I knew that. I just didn't know. I just thought that was how all shows went,
Oh.
So I was just kind of like, wait, what? And then I remember talking to the booker at the time and he was like, what has happened to you has never happened since Robin Williams and Jim Carrey and, my idols. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like, put in your veils on Monday. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. And I was like, oh, wait, so this is my job now?
Who was the booker at the time?
Tommy.
Okay, yeah.
And so, I honestly, I fell flat on my ass. Oh my God, this guy has my hair. Blue, look at Blue's hair.
There you go.
Blue's got my hair.
So how much material did you have at that point?
Oh God, like 6 minutes?
That to me is fascinating.
Yeah,
like, that
so
you were able to get that. And like, she'd only seen you that one time, so it's like...
Yeah, and then they're like, he's got 15, 20, and I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't. And I learned really quick. I fell flat on my ass like so many times. I was the opening spot in the OR. I didn't do the main room until like 3 years in.
Oh, really?
3 or 4 years in, yeah.
Because that's what we see now when they pass people. They get some OR spots late at night, but they don't really get that main room spot that they want. That's where the money actually is.
Yeah. I mean, and it was something that I really wanted to work towards, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone I think should. I feel like now they're just kind of like, get in there, kid. You got followers. But it doesn't really translate very well.
No.
So I'm glad that I kind of went through the gauntlet of like, oh yeah, I remember bringing Argus up. I had no idea who Argus was. And he was like, get this kid out of here. And then
Argus.
they put me down at like 12:45. And then, you know, every now and then Chappelle would come in and bump us all so I wouldn't get on until like 4 a.m.
But that was before you became the Justin Martindale.
Okay.
Now you'll get like an 11:04 spot and you'll be like, I'm not fucking doing 11:04. What are you, crazy?
I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
I'm old.
I know. Yes, I know.
Wait,
I know.
So, like, it's funny that was your trajectory because your stand-up now, I think you obviously have the material, but you also do something that, at least when I was starting, they were like, do not do this, which is topical stuff. And
Yeah.
it fucking kills.
Yeah.
And I mean, I work with you on the podcast. I know that a lot of the things that we talk about on the podcast, you find a way to turn that into material.
Oh, absolutely.
Does it fucking kill you that like some of this stuff could kill and it really only has a certain lifespan? Or do you think that you can find unique ways to keep it going longer? Like Britney Spears was an example.
Oh, that was fun. I know.
I miss that so much.
I do
It's
too.
also, we can't make fun of, she's in a situation.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That was
here's the
your thing. It wasn't even topical. You were just being a good person. And we're like, I feel bad making fun of her.
I mean, I feel like everyone's up for grabs. I mean,
Yeah.
I would definitely want someone to make fun of me at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's a form of flattery, but at the same time, we're such a society now that is just infatuated with pop culture and the news and I brought up the Titanic
And I
thing.
make fun of you for loving the Titanic as much as you do.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, but like, who would have thought that? I even said on stage, I was like, did anybody else heard that there was like 5 billionaires trapped in like a tuna can, like going to like with a PlayStation controller? And immediately I was like, oh yes, the Kardashians went on a boat ride. And I thought that. And it was so funny because I did that exact same joke at Soho House tonight before I came here. And everyone was like, oh, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. You all know her. You all know them. But yeah, I feel like I'd rather do that than crowd work. I love doing crowd work.
Say. There are people that have their specialties here.
Yes.
You can read a news story and turn it into a bit that night that fucking crushes.
Right.
And you can do that for the next few nights as long as as soon as they find these guys stuck in the Titanic or wherever they are.
Right. They're not
joke
going to
is-
find them.
No.
It's so dark.
It's scary. Well, so I saw a post today where it was like, you have to keep in mind that if the technology holds up, we're going to have cell phones that have a history of everything that went on in their last moments. I'm like, this is what you're looking forward to.
But also,
watching?
lest we forget that one of the stepchildren of one of the guys went to a Blink-182 concert last night and tried to hook up with an OnlyFans model while his dad is trapped in a tuna can at the bottom of the sea.
You don't think that was a good move?
Who's wrong and who's right? You know? Okay, wait, I have a 1. Oh, there's
It's
numbers.
so funny. So, yeah, I mean, that's what's fascinating. Like, Rick has his crowd work. A lot of people are doing crowd work. Your thing is you have your material, and that, like, your airline, your closer now is fucking brilliant. But you have the ability to do the pop culture news that people like laughing about.
Yeah.
And to me, that's more interesting, clippable stuff than the crowd work. I'm so sick of the clippable crowd work.
It's clippable crowd work. And, you know, Rick Ingram, like, no questions asked, is like the best in bar none. Sorry. Like,
Yeah.
everybody take a seat. Like, Rick Ingram is it. I remember when I first started, I would have to follow Rick. I would be sandwiched in between Rick and Leslie Jones, which is, that's like shit. Like, oh God. But it made me stronger, you know? I'd watch Leslie and I'd watch her just like tear everyone a new asshole. And then I'd watch Rick just go in and just demolish everybody.
But did you also hate that?
What's that?
Did you hate that? Like knowing that you had to follow that, like you know that you're following two of the best, but you're also trying to work your shit out. Did that like get?
No, I mean, no.
Oh, I hate it.
I wasn't. I don't know what to do with these, John. It says just.
It makes me so happy.
It says flip this over, and then it's just like. It looks like a. I have what's that condition where you look at tiny holes and it scares you? That's what I have. What is it? Tetris something? You know what I'm talking about?
Homosexuality?
Have you ever seen a botfly video?
No.
Where those people go camping in the Amazon, they have to put duct tape on their back because there's like a fly that laid an
What
egg.
are you talking about?
Is your YouTube history different than mine?
Very, very, very different.
It didn't freak me out. It just made me want to get better because I was like, there's no way that like, these guys are gonna. I have to be better because I don't want to make them look bad.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing to have to, because my I mean, I don't want to say it was my Rick Ingram. I prefer Rick Ingram, but like when I was doing the shows at Gotham, I would be between Jessica Kirson and Amy Schumer, and I would eat a plate of shit every single time. And this was before the Amy accusations of stealing material. This was like young Amy who nobody knew who she was yet.
Yeah.
Her and Jessica Kirson ruined my night every single night. And
really?
I was happy to be there, but I hated every second of it. So I'm always curious when people say, I don't want to follow Rick Ingram.
Why?
No, a lot of people say they don't want to follow Rick Ingram because he's a hard follow. He's a hard follow if you don't know how to reset the room. I'll say that. And that's not an insult to any comic that doesn't want to follow him.
Yeah.
You have to reset the room because you now have an audience that thinks it's okay to have a conversation.
Yes. Well, you also have to reset the room because you now cannot do crowd work.
Yeah, that's true also. Like
you can't do it.
It's just not going to work.
It's not going to work. You're like, give up.
I didn't even think about that, honestly, because Annie has great material sometimes. She does crowd work too. And it's difficult to do crowd work right after Rick Ingram.
Oh, for sure. Like, just no, it's not happening.
Who was your favorite, like, other than the guys you named, who was your favorite comic? Like, were you a comedy guy? I never watched, like, I wasn't a comedy nerd. I can't tell you this person's favorite, best special or that part. Is that something that do you have, like, specials that you are, like, this is my favorite comedy special? Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that I can really think of is, like, Jim Carrey in Living Color. Robin Williams, every movie he did, like whether it was Mrs. Doubtfire, whether it was Jumanji, his HBO, what was it? What was the Live Aid or whatever they did?
Oh, Laugh. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember the name.
So I watched that because I was like, oh, it was like Whoopi Goldberg, Billy Crystal, all those guys. And that pretty much for me was like legit. I was like, oh my God, these guys are like not only is it like a telethon pretty much, but it's like a huge ass venue,
Oh yeah, it was usually a stadium or theater.
So, I mean, that's when I was like, oh my God, these guys are like solid. They know exactly what they're doing. Oh, fuck. Wait, the whole time? Hold on. Oh, wait. How did that... Am I just forcing this?
So let's get to some deep questions.
Yeah.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Oh, my... I don't know if I'd want to change it, but if I could change one thing about me, it would be my insecurity.
Really?
Yeah.
That's mine. That's mine also. Insecure in what way?
I've just been doing this for so long, and I'm one of those people that's like, so and so's this is happening to them? Why is it not happening to me? And
got it.
You start doubting yourself, and you're just kind of, I'm not a jealous person, but when you've been doing this for, this will be my 13th. Wait, what is it? What is 2023 minus? What's 23 minus 9?
14.
This will be my 14th year doing stand up, and I'm just like, okay, I've got some accomplishments for sure.
But you see those people that kind of do what you did in the present day, where like what you did was you walked in, you did an outside promoter show, you got past that night, you skipped everything. Now you're seeing people post a clip on TikTok. They're getting $1 million tours.
Right. And but good for them.
That's the thing. I'm not mad. I'm just, for me as a non-comic, I'm more frustrated that the people like you, Rick, like all of these people that I know are great comics that are busting their asses, that they're just not being seen the way that the one guy who TikTok decided, like, this is your thing now.
Yeah. And it is what it is. But
meritocracy's out the window.
It is. I'm not doing this right at all. This is
no. It looks great. It's supposed to be on a slant like that.
The most homophobic.
That does look like a hate crime. What
it
you're
is.
Doing.
It is definitely that.
What you're doing looks like a hate crime.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one thing you could change about this last year of your life, what would it be? Something that's happened in your career, personal life, just something over the last year.
There's one thing I'd change about my career?
No, just something in the last year that has happened that you would change.
Oh, God.
I'm asking all the hard-hitting questions here while we build Lego. That's the point.
I honestly don't know how to answer that. I would say...
You've done a lot the last year, and from my perspective, it's all been pretty good. I can't think of anything that's from my end. That's why I'd be curious what happens behind the scenes, or like career-wise, where you're like, oh, I wish I never did that, or
I wish I never
came to do this Lego show.
No, the Legos are actually, it's very therapeutic, actually.
Oh, I love it.
I just don't think I'm doing this right.
I can tell you for a fact you're not. That's not how it's supposed to look.
But why? I know it's supposed to be like this, but what is this? Number 5 threw me because I have no idea what happened. Because
it looks great.
No, it doesn't. You can stop lying.
I want to be supportive.
But like just make 2 bigger pieces. I don't understand what this illusion is. Oh, okay. Got it. I think the biggest... What was the question again?
What's something over the last year that you would change if you could? Like go back and change, or something you would have done differently?
I don't know.
You could say nothing. Like I said, like from my perspective, someone who just like sees you here, sees you doing the podcast.
I think I wish I was a little more pushy, a little more.
That's fair.
A little more. I feel like I'm at that point now where I can be a little more aggressive, and like everyone treats me really well here, but I just felt like I wasn't being taken seriously a lot because I didn't have a lot of TV credits and, all that kind of stuff. So people just kind of look down on me like, oh, what do you.
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately...
I also wish I didn't have such a temper, because when I get crossed, I lose my shit.
Do you see red?
Oh, yeah.
What? Can you, without getting into detail, can you tell us about a time where you just saw red?
Mm-hmm.
And like just lost it?
Lost it.
We'll end on that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a very patient person and I like to have conversations with people. And if I am frustrated with you, it takes a lot out of me to admit that I'm frustrated. And yeah, I was just working with somebody who just was not pulling their weight. And when I asked them to help, they used the term gaslighting on me.
Oof.
Where I was like, I'm not gaslighting you, I'm just having a conversation with you. And rather than, acknowledge that we were having a conversation, just kept spinning and spinning and spinning. And I just lost it. And I've never yelled at somebody the way I yelled at somebody that day. And I haven't since. And yeah, I mean, I was outside of a West Elm, the furniture store, just being like, I swear to God, you make no sense. What the fuck?
I hope you were yelling at someone at West Elm.
Oh, no. You
This
would have
is
thought,
oak.
no.
It's not oak. It's $400 plywood.
No, the West Elm people do
Morons.
not deserve that at all. And, this was somebody who told me they were their best friend and all that kind of stuff, and haven't talked to them since. So it's just unfortunate, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, that validated that for me.
It's funny how those situations you look back and you're like, okay, I probably could have not snapped. I was at my breaking point, but then I got to see who the real person was.
Exactly.
And either way, that needed to end.
Exactly. And I also got tired of kissing everyone's ass. God, there's so many ass kissers in this industry.
It's very weird that's, I mean, not to get too into detail, and I'm sure over the course of the episodes I will, but that's why I'm leaving my job at the Comedy Store. Not just ass kissing, but the amount of people that need yes men.
Yeah.
Like, there are just people that, like, I genuinely think, and we've had conversations about stories, like, you'll always have the final say. It's your podcast, but I'm not a yes man where if there's a story where I'm like, this is something we need to skip, I'm going to be like, no, it's a great story. Like, I'm just not a yes man. And a lot of people here need that validation, no matter how bad the ideas are.
Yeah, you're dealing with a bunch of, like, broken toys.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not going to, if I think someone's talented, I'm going to let them know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I know you're an asshole, I'm not going to talk to you.
That's
Sorry.
what it is. That's what I'm finding out about LA. You have to surround yourself with normal
assholes.
people.
Oh, okay.
No. The assholes, not the assholes. Because when you surround yourself with the assholes, you end up in a fucking deep depression once you realize, like, oh, these are the people I chose.
Yeah. And I'm excited for everybody who's, successful in doing their own thing, because this is fucking hard. I mean, it's hard. I haven't done a world tour. I haven't done a national tour. I want to, but I mean, it's like I'm working towards that.
And it's going to happen. Like, you're on that trajectory.
We'll see.
You're on the trajectory. It's the stupid social media that's sort of capitalizing. It's capitalizing on the social media. And that's unfortunately what the industry finds value in now over actual talent.
I finished.
Oh, it looks great.
Mine are all drunk. And passed out. They're all poly and passed out.
No, it looks fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about. Woo! You crushed it.
That's hard. I gave up. I'm like, well, we did it. I put the people together, and that's what matters.
You did put the people
Just
together?
like my podcast, I put the people together.
You put the people together. Well, that's a wrap. I got pretty far, I think.
What did you do?
We're doing the mouth for we're doing the Rolling Stone mouth. So I got this whole thing put together.
That's it. Look at the back of yours.
Well, yeah, you have to construct it.
Wait, look at number 5.
You're stuck on number 5.
Look at it. That makes no sense to me.
That's the least of your problems. Look at it's on a slant.
If I knew I know, because I'm on number 5, I'm stuck on number 5. What do you think number 5 is? Look.
Number 5
go
is
from
you turn
number
it
4.
upside
If
down.
you can fix it, I will finish this. I promise.
No, we're not. I mean, the whole goal is not. I mean,
what is it?
Let me see what the bottom of it is. Number 5 is what the bottom's supposed to be.
What is that?
That doesn't look like this
at all. No, because I was like...
I mean, this is a rectangle. That's a square. You didn't even add that piece on.
How? This to where?
Move it over. Yeah, there we go. And then you connect them.
Like that?
Absolutely not. No, it's supposed to be flat. Now, green guy's on the floor.
Well, where he belongs.
All right, Justin, where can they find you? It will not be a Lego store.
You can find me at Justin Martindale on Instagram. You can also listen to my podcast, Just Saying, wherever you get your podcasts. And I'm trying to think what else. I think that's it.
I mean, he has a comedy special as well.
I do have a comedy special. Yes, thank you.
Out TV.
On Out TV. It's literally just like subscribe, watch it, and then, I mean, no, like.
Great promo. I love it.
It's a great special. It's like all my old stuff. It's all the stuff that I started out here, and I don't do it anymore, so I'm very proud of it. But yeah, Instagram, Twitter-ish.
Are we doing TikTok? Or are we still not on the TikTok?
I'm on TikTok, but I put the clips on the podcast on TikTok.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with a new episode next week.
Good job. I have notes.